I was halfway down the hallway, my sneakers squeaking against the polished floor, when I heard shouting bouncing off the marble walls of our fancy condo lobby. Through the glass doors, I spotted our delivery guy, Mike, frozen like a deer in headlights, clutching a package to his chest. A handful of residents, maybe 5 or 6, stood around him, all eyes locked on one person. Elaine Thompson, arms crossed, was planted in front of the elevators like a bouncer at a club. Her voice cut through the air, sharp and commanding, demanding proof that the package belonged to a homeowner. Mike kept VYing his tablet, trying to show her the address, but Elaine wasn't budging. She kept barking that only owners got delivery PRIVY legies in this building. I sped up, my laptop bag thumping against my hip. That package looked like the new keyboard I've been tracking for days. As I pushed through the doors, Elaine's eyes snapped to me like a hawk spotting prey. Before I could open my mouth, she jabbed a manicured finger my way and declared I had no right to deliveries either. Mike glanced between us, totally lost, double-checking his tablet. Then Elaine made her fatal move. She stepped forward, snatched the package from Mike's hands, and announced she was confiscating it until she could verify ownership. Mike protested, fumbling for his radio to call his boss, but Elaine was already strutting toward the concierge desk, my keyboard tucked under her arm like a trophy. What happened next turned our quiet building upside down and landed Elaine in handcuffs. But to get why it went so far, you need to know who Elaine Thompson was and why she thought she ruled our upscale condo tower. I've been renting a 1-bedroom on the 12th floor for about 9 months. I'm a graphic designer, working from home for a startup, and I picked this place for its sleek VYB and top-notch amenities. The rent was steep, but the location was perfect, and the management swore renters and owners were treated the same. Elaine, though, had other ideas. Elaine lived in the penthouse, sat on the homeowners association board, and carried herself like she owned the whole building. Probably in her late 50s, always decked out in designer suits, she had this air of authority that screamed, "I always get my way." Her husband was some big-shot lawyer, and they'd been here since the tower opened 6 years ago. From day one, Elaine made it crystal clear she saw renters like me as outsiders. She dropped snide comments about transients versus investors who cared about the building's prestige. At resident meetings, she droned on about policies to protect property values for owners, her disdain for renters practically dripping from every word. She'd even demand to see key cards from anyone she didn't recognize, like she was the building's personal cop, despite our state-of-the-art security system. Our tower was a 28-story glass giant with 180 units, about 60 fan tram owners, 40 fan tram renters. The lease was clear. Everyone got equal access to amenities, including package delivery. But Elaine didn't see it that way. Her crusade against renters started small suspicious glares at delivery drivers, hovering by the concierge desk during peak hours. Then it escalated. She'd grill drivers about who packages were for, demand to see labels, and even question if certain residents were legit. The property manager, Tom Nguyen, thought she was just being nosy at first. He dealt with Elaine's complaints forever and usually humored her. But her meddling was starting to mess things up for everyone. Soon, my packages and those of other renters started hitting snags. Deliveries that should have landed at my door were stuck at distribution centers or marked undeliverable. Drivers told me someone in the building was questioning their right to deliver to my unit. A critical shipment of design equipment vanished entirely. Tracking showed it reached the concierge desk, but when I went to grab it, the staff had no record. The signature on the delivery was a scribble, and the driver was long gone. I spent hours on the phone, chasing leads, but hit dead ends. That's when I got serious. I set up a tiny camera by my door and started tracking every delivery like a hawk. The breakthrough came when I caught Elaine red-handed. I'd ordered a new stylus, and the second I got the delivery notification, I bolted downstairs. The concierge, Lisa Carter, was as confused as I was no record of my package, despite the timestamp showing it was signed for 15 minutes earlier. I demanded to see Tom, the manager, and pushed him to check the lobby security footage. He was hesitant. Package issues were usually the concierge's domain, but when I showed him the pattern of missing deliveries, he caved. The footage was a bombshell. It showed Elaine intercepting my driver, signing for the stylus, and strolling to the elevators with it. She didn't leave it at the desk or bring it to Mesh, took it to her penthouse. Tom was floored. He admitted Elaine had no right to touch anyone's packages, HOA board or not. He called her, and her response was wild. She didn't deny taking it, but claimed she was protecting the building from suspicious deliveries. She insisted renters didn't deserve the same privileges as owners. Tom told her there was no such rule and demanded she return my stylus. Elaine doubled down, calling for an emergency HOA meeting to set official delivery policies that would screw over renters. I wasn't waiting around. I started talking to other renters, and the stories poured in. Rachel Lee, from the 7th floor, had packages vanish for months. Jamal Carter, on the 19th, got calls from delivery companies asking him to verify ownership. Sophie Tran, on the 10th, sought Elaine posing as management, demanding drivers show her their manifests. It was clear Elaine was targeting renters, letting owners' packages slide through untouched. This wasn't just meddling, it was mail tampering, maybe even theft. I filed a formal complaint with Tom and the local police, then pushed for an emergency building-wide meeting. I spent days prepping, gathering testimonies, copying footage, researching mail tampering laws. The night before the meeting, Detective Maria Lopez called. She'd seen my complaint and wanted to talk after the meeting. Game on. The meeting was packed, the community room buzzing with tension. Elaine showed up early, flanked by her HOA cronies, ready to play queen. Tom kicked things off, letting me present first. I laid it all out. Months of missing packages, renters targeted, Elaine caught on tape. The room went dead silent as the footage played Elaine snatching my stylus and vanishing into the elevator. When I finished, Elaine shot up, her voice booming. She claimed she was SAVYing the building from fraudulent deliveries, that renters were a security risk, unlike invested owners. Her words landed like a slap. Residents fired back, pointing out renters paid the same fees, had the same rights. Then came a knockout punch. Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, a sweet 80-year-old owner from the 4th floor, stood up, trembling. She'd been wondering why her daughter's care packages, snacks, essentials kept getting returned. Now she knew. Elaine had been grabbing them, thinking they were suspicious because they came from out of state. The room erupted. Even Elaine's allies looked stunned. The HOA president, de VYD Park, demanded she list every package she'd taken. Elaine snapped, accusing outsiders of sabotaging her efforts to protect property values. That's when Detective Lopez walked in. She'd planned to meet me privately, but the commotion drew her to the room. Introducing herself, she asked to speak with Elaine about the tampering reports. Elaine's cool facade cracked. She screamed she hadn't stolen anything, that her HOA role gave her authority. Lopez calmly explained that intercepting mail was a federal crime, no exceptions. When Elaine refused to cooperate, yelling about renters ruining the building, Lopez's tone shifted. She asked if Elaine had any packages in her penthouse. Elaine's rant calling renters untrustworthy transients was her undoing. Lopez called for backup. 2 officers arrived, and Lopez gave Elaine a choice: cooperate or face a search warrant. Elaine lost it, screaming about harassment, accusing me and other renters of conspiracy. When the officers tried to escort her out, she shoved back, threatening to have us all EVY-TED. That was it. Lopez cuffed her, and as Elaine was dragged out, still shouting about her rights, the room fell silent. A later search of her penthouse uncovered a stash of packages me stylus, Mrs. Brooks meds, and more, all addressed to renters, some opened, some weeks old. Elaine faced federal mail tampering charges, plus state theft and obstruction counts. The fallout was seismic. The HOA scrambled to fix the mess, banning Elaine from board duties and posting new rules. All residents had equal delivery rights, no exceptions. The concierge got training on mail laws, and signs went up in the lobby. Elaine's own mail? Flagged for verification. Leah VYing her stuck with the same delay she'd caused. Detective Lopez dug deeper, finding notebooks where Elaine tracked every renter's delivery names, times, even snarky notes about who deserved packages. She'd photographed packages, contacted shipping companies as management, and researched ways to legally screw renters through HOA bylaws. Her obsession was chilling. Mrs. Brooks was devastated, learning Elaine had cataloged her meds. Her family considered suing for privacy violations. Sophie Tran started a support group for affected renters, helping us process the betrayal. Elaine's trial was brutal. Her security defense collapsed against the EVY Denke of her renter vendetta. She got probation and community SARE VYC, but the con VY tie stuck. Our building emerged stronger, united with fair rules. Elaine? She lost everything she thought she controlled. What would you do if someone like Elaine targeted you? Should renters have fewer rights than owners in shared buildings? Was her punishment too light, or did she deserve a second chance? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more wild stories.